What's happening everybody, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Go Battle video. Today I'm going to be showcasing a very strong team, featuring Trevenant in the lead, Diggersby, and Sandslash. This is a team I seen on Twitter by InnerBloom94, who managed to hit Legend with this team, so congrats to him. I decided to try this out, and I think the most interesting thing about this team is the moveset on Diggersby. We're using Scorching Sands, Fire Punch, and Quick Attack, which I think is a very interesting one. Quick Attack is a little bit better for Diggersby. If you're up against more neutral matchups, you do a lot more damage with Quick Attack, and it gives you a much better chance of flipping swap against Flyers, Grass types, and even Medicham. Quick Attack really chunks the midi, and with the cheaper Fire Punch, it can be super useful. Also, you're going to see a lot of Ninetales and Sandslash in this meta, and they don't really expect you to be on Fire Punch anymore. The standard moveset now is Scorching Sands Hyper Beam, so I think with Fire Punch, it's quite a nice surprise for opponents. And again, you can flip swap against Flyers, which is awesome. Now, we're running the standard moveset on Sandslash with Shadow Claw. However, this trainer did recommend that you go for Powder Snow. I just like Shadow Claw a little bit better, and as you're seeing in this current matchup right here, against the Ninetales, Shadow Claw is so much more beneficial. What we need to do is basically try to farm the whole way down. Even a Psyshock, although resisted, would do a lot of damage, so we basically need to get off 2 moves on Lickitung when it comes back, because we don't have a particularly good match with Trevenant. I go for the Ice Punch first, thinking the opponent might just shield it up. Yep, they do shield it, and we do end up getting off the Drill Run. Now what I want to do here is try to keep my Sandslash healthy. We still have Trevenant. Of course, it's a very negative lead we had this match with Trevenant versus Lickitung. I do finally get swapped out. The opponent will have to go for Power Whips, because Body Slams are double resisted on the Ghost type Trevenant. So the opponent does go for Power Whip, does quite a lot of damage. And you're seeing here that this is a bad matchup, but it's not like completely horrible. You actually do get off quite a lot of damage with Seed Bomb. The opponent's going to be forced to throw another move here. Can we get to another Seed Bomb? We do get to it, but the opponent fires off either a Body Slam or a Power Whip. They do go straight for the Power Whip, which will KO, which means they're pretty dry. And at this point, guys, we should be able to outpace to the Drill Run, which from this range should take out. So I found that I actually lost lead quite a lot with this team, but I was able to go super positive. I got back up to around 2800 elo with this team. I've been kind of bouncing between 27 and 2800 elo, so this has been one of the teams that has allowed me to climb back up again. And in this next match, pretty negative matchup once again, Ninetales, we're going to swap into Diggersby, which once again with Fire Punch, I go instantly for it in bad timing because I don't want the opponent to swap out or get off a move. I want to just threaten some damage here because the opponent's getting pretty low. Now we're 2 shields up, and we've got a Diggersby who can basically look to one-shot from here. So the opponent will be forced to swap out. In comes Mandibuzz. And you guys are going to see exactly what I mean about Diggersby with Fire Punch. Now, Diggersby on this team is generally designed to get out Medicham. The opponent came in with Mandibuzz, which is a huge indication that they don't have Medicham. Unless the opponent's making an amazing team read, and Medicham might be better in the back, which they would be correct if that was the case. I feel very comfortable just trying to basically preserve some health in Diggersby and come in with a Alolan Sandslash to look to clean up with this thing. This is still going to be a very close match because we haven't seen the back Pokemon yet, and they still have a fairly healthy Ninetales, which definitely chunks the Sandslash and can chunk any of my remaining Pokemon. We do actually get a move off on CMP. I went for a very risky CMP. The opponent's trying to get off some last damage. So at this point, guys, the opponent should be quite dry. They go for an Aurelius, which indicates that they are dry. They're just trying to swap out. In comes Lantern. Can we get to this in time? We do, which is pretty vital here. And once again, this is why I prefer Shadow Claw. Again, you know, it's a little bit tougher against the grass types and Flyers. If you don't have Powder Snow, I noticed like a few times where I thought, yeah, Powder Snow would be really nice here, but I think in general, you do want Shadow Claw. The opponent goes for Surf. It doesn't quite KO me to get off the move, just about on 1 HP, and that might have been New Mechanic, because I was right on 1 HP there. Boom, yeah, so I think I got New Mechanic there, which is quite lucky, and in comes Ninetales. They will get off a move, and I'm thinking here, of course, we definitely shield this will KO. I'm hoping the Mandibuzz is quite low. I just go straight for the move so I don't have to take any more damage, because I don't want the Mandibuzz to be able to farm me down, and back in it comes. Now, how dry were they? Were they super dry? The opponent must have been just getting to the move, because that was very close. We were 5 off the Fire Punch, which means that they were probably like a turn off the move. Good game, well played. By the way, guys, thank you for all the subs on the last video. We're only about 10 subs off 2.9k, which is like 111 off 3k. I want to say a big thank you for all the support in the videos, guys. I'm sorry for the lack of uploads in this last week or so. I've just been kind of playing off video a little bit, trying to grind elo and trying to hit Legend early this season. Also, I'm a little bit under the weather here. The weather's changed here in Japan, and it's getting pretty cold and stuff, so like I've got a bit of a flu or whatever, bit of a cold. So I should hopefully try to get some more videos out over the weekend. Do let me know in the comments, guys. Do you want to see some more Sunshine Cup this week, or more Open Great League? For me personally, you know, it's been a little bit, like, I don't mind uploading the same teams and stuff, but I know it's maybe a little bit boring for you guys, so trying to keep that in mind and trying to use as many teams as possible. I do want to hit Legend very quickly this season. Like, I've hit Legend in the Catch Cup the last 2 seasons. Actually, last season I hit it, I hit Expert, you know, like maybe a month or a month and a half before the Catch Cup, and I ended up just getting like completely wrecked for a while. This season's going pretty well. After all these games today, I ended up above 2750, so I went plus 55. I did get up to 2800. Of course, I had a 1-4 afterwards, which was pretty brutal. I seen Obstagoon Obstagoon's got to be like the biggest core breaker for this team, or like Umbreon lead is quite difficult for this team as well. That's where Powder Snow is a little bit better. In this match here, this time I decided just to stay in and eat this Psycho Boost. Yeah, in comes Lantern and I come in with Sandslash. I was maybe a little bit late on the swap. I could have definitely came in a little bit faster here. They go for a Surf, which is really smart because it'll allow them to get off 2 moves. If I had insta-swapped, I would have outpaced here probably to 2 moves, or paced fairly quickly to them. Basically what I need... Oh, the opponent's trying to let me farm them down. And back in comes Deoxys. I end up going for the Ice Punch and KOing anyway. So it was getting a little bit close there. What I done with Trevenant was tried to bank a Seed Bomb. I think it was 1 off the Seed Bomb, and the opponent was only 2 off the Psycho Boost, so they would have got a Psycho Boost had I not got off that Ice Punch. So definitely a little bit risky. In comes another DD. We just YOLO the Shadow Ball. If you guys have been DD in this situation, Trevenants love to bait the Seed Bomb, but not this time. We just absolutely one-shot the Trevenant, and in comes Lickitung and Azumarill, which Azumarill is a bit of a core breaker for the back line as well, especially if they're in Hydro Pump. But yeah, anyway guys, just to finish off what I was saying, thank you very much for the support in the videos guys, very much appreciated, and I will try to be a little bit more consistent this next week. I'm assuming this is going to be Hydro Pump because that's the normal moveset these days. What I want to do is preserve Diggersby, because it's basically my only answer to Lickitung. Sandslash can do fine and get off a lot of damage and resist the charge moves, but Sandslash is very glassy, so I think I would prefer to try to preserve Diggersby if possible, right? They go for Ice Beam, they're an Ice Beam Hydro Pump, very unusual moveset. I do come in with Trevenant here and they come back in with Licky. And as you guys seen earlier, they can lick us down quite a lot, but the charge moves don't really do a ton of damage. At this point, they still need to throw the Power Whip. If I can get a shield off the opponent, this is pretty much what I want here. I think the opponent probably will want to go for an Overfarm, knowing that we have Pokemon in the back. So this should be good. We can hopefully get off 2 moves. We have over a Scorching Sands loaded on Diggersby. Now we do have to keep in mind they still have 2 Pokemon, so we just have to watch for the catch later on. I think we can get to enough charge moves to take this out, even though they're still up a shield. Like I said, Diggersby is just super healthy here. Now I think I come into Sandslash because it walls the charge moves a little bit better. I think that's what I decide to do here. If I come into Diggersby, they probably just double Power Whip and take me out or Power Whip Body Slam at that point. So yeah, in comes Azumarill. We just instantly throw this move, I think, in bad timing. Sometimes you do want to throw in bad timing just to get rid of the opponent's Pokemon. I come in with Diggersby, go for the combo. The Scorching Sands from this range should KO. And at this point, guys, I think this is just game over for the opponent. They can go for a Power Whip, but they're super low. Even a Fire Punch plus Quick Attacks would probably KO at that point. In that match, we had a very positive lead with Deoxys, but Lickitung is very tricky for this team, and we've even had Lickitung in the lead, and we're still able to win those matches. So this team is very good. I really like Quick Attack Diggersby. I've always been a huge fan of it. I think in general this season, depending on the team composition, if you're using Diggersby as a closer, you probably want Mudshot, right? Because it's good against Carbink and all of the steel types and everything, and it's faster charging. But yeah, it's really nice with Quick Attack on the safe swap. In comes Steelix. I'm going to just overfarm here because they're going to be an insta-throwing Andy, alignment Andy, trying to get off this breaking swipe. This stupid snake only really knows how to do one thing. Yo, I actually got heavy slammed by one of these snakes earlier, which was pretty hilarious. I wasn't even mad at that point. I was like, yeah, you heavy slammed me, well done. Just literally well done. For those of you out here who are a little bit like me and like predicting the opponent's teams, what do you think it's going to be? I was not expecting it to be Togetic. I'm not going to lie, I was expecting to see Medicham and perhaps a Bastiodon in the back. So I was starting to think maybe it's a mistake for me to bring in Diggersby, but the opponent is, of course, you know, really scared, and they just try to debuff everything. I think Steelix players play a little bit badly sometimes. I think that Pokemon sort of forces you to play badly in a lot of ways, because you're trying to get off debuffs on alignment. I do correctly shield up the Dazzling Gleam, which will do quite a lot of damage, and we're basically going to make a pivot into Sandslash, because guys, once again, if there was a Medicham in the back, they would have come into it surely, right? Like, that only makes sense. If they had Medicham, they would have come into Diggersby on it. In comes Lantern, and I think I make him maybe a slight misplay here. I go for a CMP on 7. I don't think it was quite the right play. I think he should have thrown a little bit earlier here. I do end up going for a double CMP. If you've seen me just quickly click the move, which means I'll get this move off immediately without taking any more damage. Again, that might have been a mistake. I probably should have overfarmed a little bit more, but the water guns will chunk, and I'm thinking, like, I should be able to force the Steelix to throw or the Togetic to throw, and at that point they'll be quite low. I'm not trying to rhyme, but that's just how it goes, you know. The Togetic goes for the Ancient Power. That will take us out. Yeah, I like this Pokemon, guys. It's a fun Pokemon. Once I hit Legend, I'm definitely pulling out Togetic. I'm trying to go for good timing, because, you know, we're trying to teach Steelix a thing or two here about good timing. Boom, they go for the shield. In comes Diggersby, and that's game over, folks, basically. I think we live in Earthquake from this range, but of course the opponent doesn't know Earthquake. Guys, you can just single move this Pokemon the whole way through the Great League. The Scorching Sands, even though debuffed, is going to do an absolute chunk to the Steelix. Boom, and I think they're going to see the writing on the wall here. They're going to throw off another breaking swipe, and I think they see how minimal the damage is. Fickersby too thick, Fickersby too thick, and that's a good game well played. Diggersby is definitely one of my favourite Pokemon, and we're getting another negative lead, guys. You're seeing that I ended up going, I think, 16 or 17 out of 25. I had so many negative leads. But here's the amazing thing, the opponent goes for probably a catch here on the Scorching Sands. Yeah, they try to catch the Scorching Sands. In comes Trevenant, and we have Fire Punch. And that's actually going to allow us to flip swap on this Pokemon. Generally speaking, if you have Fire Punch, you're going to be able to flip swap on grass types, which is amazing. Plus, like I said, Quick Attack just absolutely chunks. Look at this chunking, the Trevenant. Even though they're double resisting this Quick Attack, it is absolutely chunking. I'll commit to the farm down, or go for another move. I decided to go for the move because I want to try and get a shield back off the opponent if possible. Because I know that if I go down 2 shields, it's going to be looking rough either way. So get the shield back off the opponent, see if they want to take Switch or not. And they do take my final shield. Now, if I do have the choice, Sandslash or Trevenant on their Sandslash with Powder Snow, I'm definitely putting my own Sandslash on it, so it's not even a choice at this point. We can go for this Fire Punch, which will do a lot of damage. Doesn't one-shot, but it will do a lot of damage, and the opponent actually does get the full farm down, which is a little bit rough. Now, because they're on Powder Snow, they're not going to be able to chunk me down to the point where this can one-shot me. It's going to leave me on a little bit of health, and I need to be very, very patient here. I'm expecting the catch. The opponent goes for an Insta-swap, and in comes Chargebug. Now, basically, I need to take this out with Trevenant. I go for a CMP tie on what's likely going to be an X-Scissor. I'm hoping it's not Crunch, because Crunch might actually KO here, but that Shadow Ball just does so much damage. But hopefully Sandslash can even farm it down. It is X-Scissor. We do farm it the whole way down. The opponent will get a nasty farm down, so this is going to come to CMP. They actually throw the move on Trevenant, because the opponent had a lot of energy. So I'm guessing they've probably got 2 moves here. We go straight for the Drill Run, and that's going to KO the opponent. I think the opponent realised that they were getting super low, and even a Seed Bomb would become quite threatening at that range. It wouldn't have KO'd though, I've been in that situation before. The opponent probably should have tried to commit to the farm down. Now this is quite a positive lead, because the opponent here is on Tackle, and in comes Venusaur. I swap in a little bit late to my Sandslash. Guys, you gotta be really quick with your swaps. Venusaur, as you're about to see, with Frenzy Plant, boom, it does so much damage. It does so much damage to the Steel type. I fire off the move 1 before they get to the next one, for good timing basically, so I can keep count. They're at the move now, and I end up CMPing. I was going for the Overfarm, and the opponent overfarmed accordingly and went for CMP, which is a nice play by the opponent. And that should probably allow them to get to 1 more move, which makes this a little bit more awkward. And that's basically why you need to swap out, because they get to these moves in 665, and we can eat the move for sure. And I even make a further mistake, because they are going to get to the move. So like, I should have just overfarmed. I go for an Undercharge, which will allow me to basically get like another free Shadow Claws free, which is really nice. And again, you know, this is where Powder Snow is really nice. You can basically farm it down from full health with Powder Snow. Back in comes Carbink, and like I said, they're on Tackle, which is really, really bad for them if they're facing Trevenant. But of course, I do want my Diggersby on this thing. Diggersby will absolutely destroy Carbink. The opponent comes into Medi, we come into Trev, and I think the opponent's going to see the hashtag writing on the wall here. We even outpaced to the Ice Punch, and that's going to be good games. In this final set, we started seeing Carbink a lot. I think I've seen 3 Carbinks in this final set. We're 4-1 so far, and in comes Trevenant versus Whimsicott. Don't ask me why, but for some reason, I thought that Whimsicott won CMP. Trevenant easily wins CMP. The opponent goes for CMP for some reason. Maybe they thought the same thing. I thought it, so they probably thought it as well. They go for Seed Bomb Bait, which is a little bit awkward. And I'm just going to YOLO the Shadow Ball here. I sometimes think the opponents are happy to get a shield off us and then just come in with whatever they want. That's not the case. They do end up shielding it, which is kind of tough. So we're in a little bit of an awkward spot here. I do end up shielding the Moonblast correctly, which is nice. And I decided to go for Seed Bomb. I didn't think that Seed Bomb would KO, but I thought I could get a nice farm down, and I'm most likely going to be able to swap out. The opponent does reach a last second move, and I think this is just a Seed Bomb, so we should be absolutely chilling here. Seed Bomb doesn't KO. In comes Sandslash, I swap out immediately, and in comes Swampert. And once again, guys, you're about to see how powerful Diggersby really is. The opponent is not able to one-shot us here. We can't one-shot them anymore because we don't have Earthquake anymore, but the quick attacks are just absolutely chunking the Swampert, and they cannot farm us down. And we're going to make it to a Fire Punch, and of course the opponent's not expecting us to be in Fire Punch, so they're thinking, okay, there's still 1 or 2 off the move. Nope, we're right at the move. And at this point, guys, the opponent's forced to dump energy. Now, the opponent's Sandslash did get for a couple of Shadow Claws, so I do need to be careful here. I'm pretty close to a Shadow Ball on my Trevenant, and I decided to come into my own Sandslash here to get the farm down. Now, they're going to have to throw 1 move no matter what, right? So this doesn't change anything. I decided to go for a little bit of an overfarm, go for a catch, and then we end up CMPing on the Shadow Ball. So the way I was leaving it there was, the opponent's forced to throw a move in Trevenant, and if they do throw a move in Trevenant, they're going to get Drill Run, right? So I was making sure to put energy in 2 different places, and I was trying to time it so that I could CMP the opponent. So it worked out very nicely, and there's a 5-0 set, guys. We end up getting the whole way up to 2785 in the set. I think we went up to like 2800 this set right here. Very negative lead. Once again, we're going to swap into Diggersby, and probably just YOLO the move instantly. The opponent should not be expecting us to be in Fire Punch, and I'm happy enough just to insta-throw this move, right? Because even if they swap out, like, I don't mind if they catch a Fire Punch, the opponent just lets it go, and in comes Medicham. And once again, guys, you're going to see here that with Scorching Sands and Quick Attack, we can put in a lot of damage against Medicham. I think this one's even on Power Up Punch. We don't get the attack debuffs, unfortunately. It is a 30% chance. I'm basically hoping that it's not Dynamic Punch because I really do want to get off one more move. Ice Punch, Diggersby is such a champ. It is such a champ, it just eats moves like it's nothing. Look at this Medicham getting down to really low health, even though we were already behind. This Pokemon is really, really good. Now, this is tricky because they can go for double Ice Punch on Trev, and I decide like they're going to want to throw energy no matter what here, so I might as well come in with Sandslash, take one counter, and just farm it down. In comes their own Sandslash. They have 6 here, and I'm over farmed at this point, so I know I can outpace here to the moves. They come in with Wigglytuff. Now this is making it very, very awkward. I decide to go for Ice Punch. I'm thinking I'm going to try to get off 3 Ice Punches. The opponent lets the first one go. I'm going to try and throw in good timing here, get off this next Ice Punch. The really bad thing about this match is Wigglytuff resists Shadow Claw, and that's why it's kind of popular in the meta. We come into Trevenant here. The opponent will get to a Disarming Voice, and I definitely need to go for an overfarm. Once again, we're throwing in good timing, 7 Shadow Claws, which should basically keep us good. Now I'm thinking, can we farm this thing the whole way down? We have it basically farmed down, and we just need to be able to get the shield off the opponent's Sandslash here. And I'm actually committing to the farm down, which is quite interesting. 2 Shadow Claws come through, and I KO's the Sandslash. That looked super laggy. I think I was quite lucky there, but that's a good game nonetheless. Once again, guys, we have another Carbink, and it must be on tackle because they're swapping straight out. In comes Lickitung, and in comes DIGGERSBY. Now, I think I end up deciding to shield the Power Whip, because the Lickitung's basically never beat. But at the time, I was thinking, is that even enough for a Power Whip? So yeah, this is a very regrettable shield. I do end up powering off this move anyway, and I'm hoping, like, with that shield, that'll give me license to go for a bit of a farm, and of course they get the attack drop, which is another incentive for me to shield the first move, because of course the second move will do much less. And I just generally think that DIGGERSBY is so good, it's so good against Carbink, that if I can keep health on this Pokemon, it'll be very beneficial for me throughout the match. And you know, they're sort of trying to draw out a Medicham here. We don't have a Medicham, so they might have something that's weak to ground in the back, which of course is weak to counter as well. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking DIGGERSBY might be really, really strong against this team. It could be an Alolan Sandslash, it could be a Steelix, right? Back in comes Carbink, which is a pretty good indication that DIGGERSBY is quite strong. But we're just going to absolutely wreck this thing with Scorching Sands. The first move comes through. Now, if you're wondering why the opponent's on tackle, it's because it's better for energy generation, a little bit worse damage. It takes them 20 turns instead of 24 turns to get to the Moonblast. We're basically just trying to get off a last second move. The opponent's being very greedy here. I think they should be throwing a move here, but yeah, they're just basically committing to the farm down. Can we even get to a last second move? Yo, this is getting close. We go for a CMP on the Fire Punch. I'm thinking the opponent's definitely going to want to throw, and if they're not counting, they might shield this. They are counting, of course, and they finally decide to take us out. Now at this point, guys, they're super debuffed. I decided to come into Sandslash and just get an energy head start. They're super, super debuffed. Rock Slides won't do anything. The opponent's definitely weak to ground in the back, and that's a good game. Come to think of it, it's probably a grass type in the back. Would make a lot of sense. Surfetch'd here. This is awkward, actually. You can farm it down, but not before they get off 2 or 3 Night Slashes, which is quite awkward. So yeah, the opponent fires off the move. I'm going to shield it and respect it. Even the first Night Slash would absolutely chunk the Trevenant. I'm thinking, like, I do want to get shields back off the opponent. I could commit to the farm down and keep all the energy, but I'm trying to get shields as we go along here. The opponent is going to get to another move, and I think what I need to do here at this point is just commit to the farm down, and that should hopefully prevent them from getting to a third move. They don't get the boost, and they actually end up swapping out to Azumarill, so this opponent is absolutely core broken by Trevenant. Seed Bomb 1 coming through. This is going to put a big chunk into it. We're going to go for Seed Bomb number 2 here, which will probably get the shield off the opponent. And at this point, guys, I'm 99.9% sure that they're going to be an Ice Beam, because that's just how this goes. The opponent's got to throw a move. Hopefully it's not the Hydro Pump. If it's Hydro Pump, okay, it's Play Rough, so they're probably in Play Rough Ice Beam, which is a really good sign for me. Now, I do have to be careful about the Surfetch'd that comes back. They do have a Night Slash, which is definitely a little bit awkward, and that's going to definitely chunk my Sandslash. I think it was the correct play to preserve Trevenant, because they're clearly weak to it in the back, so we'll see what the opponent decides to do. They come in with their Pokemon here, they end up farming us down. Now, I'm expecting them to go straight for the move, so I come in with DIGGERSBY here. Of course, they're not going to go for Leaf Blade on Trevenant, and yeah, that's going to be a good game. In comes Galarian Stunfisk, which is basically about the best thing that DIGGERSBY can possibly see. You can eat 2 Earthquakes from full health with this Pokemon, and of course 2 Scorching Sands will KO the opponent, so we outpace the Scorching Sands as well. This is a very, very dominant matchup for DIGGERSBY. The opponent's going to see it here quite soon, and they're actually not top lifting, so I am forced to throw the Scorching Sands. Good games well played to the opponent. I really like Stunfisk in this current meta. I think it's just a little bit tricky with all, of course, the Medichams and everything running about, but I think Stunfisk definitely could be a very good Pokemon, and I was trying a team of Stunfisk, Pelipper, and Trevenant. Unfortunately, didn't quite go too well, but I think it's a very good one. Very negative lead with Umbreon. In comes DIGGERSBY and in comes Gligar. Now, we can actually flip swap here because we've got Quick Attack, which is really, really good. You're going to see the power of Quick Attack here. Now, arguably, I should try to threaten the Hyper Beam, but I honestly just want to get damage through. I'm not expecting the opponent to beat a DIGGERSBY, so we shield up the first move to try and guarantee switch advantage. And at this point, guys, the opponent's going to be convinced to start shielding up Fire Punches. which is such a sad position to be in. Now, I decided to let this next move go just in case they're baiting, but I know I can easily live a dig, right? Look at that, doesn't do too much damage. And I end up going for a Fire Punch just before they get to the next move. Quick attack Fire Punch, fantastic moveset, I'm a huge fan of it. The opponent shields up and we end up CMPing on the next move. Now, if the opponent shields us up, I'm thinking I can live this move, but I don't want to risk it. But if the opponent shields us up, we can definitely farm it down or outpace it to the next move. So we're definitely taking swap here, which is amazing. And that means our Trevenant's going to get realigned. This is kind of tricky, they've got a Venusaur in the back. At least we do get off the Fire Punch. But this is still looking really tricky actually, because Venusaur can look to Sludge Bomb. I swap out instantly, right, because I can't let them get too much energy. The opponent ends up YOLOing the Frenzy Plant, which is definitely a bit of a let off for me here. They go for an overfarm, they farm up to 5, which means they're only 1 off a Frenzy Plant, so I need to be able to be 1 off or at the move of Sandslash before they come in. And I also need to get the shield here. The opponent is letting me get off multiple moves with Trevenant, of course getting an overfarm of their own, but this is really, really good for me. We're just getting this chip down and chip down. This Umbreon must not be very good. They end up throwing a move, which is fantastic here. And I think at this point, they're on like 6 Snarls or something like that. They still have a lot of energy. Now, I have to come in with Sandslash, and I do need to make a catch at some point in this game to win. It's just a question of when do I make the catch. Frenzy Plant will do about 50% of my Sandslash, so I'm thinking I'm going to save the catch for that. I'm thinking the Venusaur might want to snipe. They are only 1 off, so I need to do 1 Shadow Claw and basically dip out into Diggersby. The opponent comes back in. They don't fall for the catch, unfortunately. They were definitely at the move. And we get a free 2 to go up to 27.97. Now, like I said, guys, in the next set, I end up going 1-4. But this is the one positive match. We get a Swampert lead. This is a player who's already legend, as you can see. And we're just going for a huge overfarm. I'm trying to CMP the opponent, which is always fun. I CMP them 1 before the back-to-back. The opponent, of course, is going to shield it. Now, Shadow Hydro Cannons do about 50% to Trevenant, so you actually do have to shield these. This match gets pretty close, believe it or not. Of course, we do outpace. I go for another CMP. So I'm doing well to basically predict the opponent's throwing, and that makes sure that they don't get any extra energy. Now, I always liked keeping Trevenant alive. This is straight up ABB style team, but I can't really afford to eat a Shadow Hydro Cannon on either of my back Pokemon, so I do decide to eat it here. We get 20% battery. As you can see, look how low they get us. We do get the farm down, and I'm thinking I'm going to swap out no matter what it is. In comes Mandibuzz, and they're actually staying in here for a minute. Now, what I decide to do is build up, pretend I'm going for the Hyper Beam, and then we're going to go for Scorching Sands on this. So the opponent does not yet know that we have Fire Punch, but of course they have no shields anyway, right? So like, we were trying to take advantage of that fact, make the opponent think we're going to go for Hyper Beam, and in fact just completely wreck the Reggie. Now, Focus Blast, super effective damage, but you guys know Diggersby, it is just a thick boy. Now, I think they build up to 100 energy or close to, so I decided to go for 5, which is pretty safe to go for. Go straight for the Fire Punch, and we are still in like a bit of an awkward spot, because Mandibuzz has a decent match against Sandslash if it's not on Powder Snow. As you can see, Dark Pulses actually do quite a lot of damage here. Boom, that gets us into the yellow. So we go for 1 and fro, and we're just hoping we can get off the next move. We still have some energy in Trevenant, still have some energy in Diggersby. We insta-throw this move on CMP, and that should basically seal it and deal it for us, folks. Yes, of course, they will live this move. Oh, actually, they don't even live the move. Never mind. Never mind. Good games, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, and once again, thank you for all the support in the videos. We're on about 2750 elo after that 1-4 set at the end. As I was saying, we've seen an Obstagoon lead, which is just absolutely horrible. I found the one user in the Great League with Obstagoon. I think they had Obstagoon, Frostlass, and Lantern, which is a very interesting team. Definitely not what I want to see with a Trevenant lead with 2 Pokemon weak to counter in the back. Bit of a nightmare for me, but you'll only say that every so often. But thank you very much, everyone. I hope you do enjoy. I do recommend trying out this team. You can try it with Powder Snow. I prefer Shadow Claw. Completely up to you. I'm most likely going to build a second Sandslash specifically to use Powder Snow because, of course, it's an elite charge TM for Shadow Claw. But at that point, I wonder if it's just better to use a normal Ice type. That's completely up to yourselves, of course. But thank you very much, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all next time.